Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triple Department working in ISL Engineering College. So in today's class of Electrical Machine 2 subject, we are going to see about the harmonics and separation of harmonics and tooth ripple in alternator. We are going to see about armature reaction in alternator. Previous class we have seen about the EMF equation of alternator and we have done a numerical based on the EMF equation of alternator. And we have seen the various factors like winding factor, pitch factor and distribution factor. Okay, so let us start today's class of harmonics in synchronous machines or alternators. So in synchronous machines or alternators, voltages and currents are induced, and whatever these voltages and currents are induced are of sinusoidal form. Okay, so but practically this will not happen because when loading is done, so generated waveform will deviate from the ideal waveform, and such a non-sinusoidal waveform is called as a complex wave. So by Fourier transform, this complex waveform can be shown to be built of a series of sinusoidal waves whose frequencies will be integral multiples of frequency of fundamental wave. Okay. So usually, ideally, we have to get a sinusoidal waveform, but we are not getting a sinusoidal waveform after alternate is getting loaded up. Okay, we are getting a complex waveform. So by according to Fourier transform, we are converting this, we are writing this complex waveform as a series of sinusoidal waves whose frequencies will be integral multiple of frequency of fundamental wave. Okay, what is that fundamental wave? What is third, fifth harmonic? We are going to see now. Okay, so these sinusoidal components or harmonic functions are called as harmonics of complex wave. So here we have seen a fundamental waveform in the red color we have seen here. So this is the basic sinusoidal waveform. We are taking amplitude versus time here. So this is a fundamental wave. So fundamental wave is that component which is having same frequency as that of complex wave. So frequency of fundamental and complex wave will be same. So the component which is having double the frequency of that fundamental wave is called as second harmonic. And the component having the frequency 3 times that of fundamental frequency is called as third harmonic, and so on. Okay, so what is a fundamental wave? Fundamental wave is that component which have the same frequency as that of complex wave. And what is second harmonic and what is third harmonic? Second harmonic means what? Which is having the second harmonic wave is nothing but a wave having the double the frequency of the fundamental wave. What is the third harmonic wave? So the component which is having frequency 3 times that of fundamental wave is called as third harmonic, and so on. Okay, complex waveform will contain both even as well as odd harmonics. So let us consider a complex wave which is represented by E is equal to E1m sine omega t plus phi 1 plus E2m sine omega t plus phi 2 plus E3m and so on like that till Enm sine omega t plus phi n. What is this E1m sine omega t plus phi 1? It is a fundamental component which is having maximum value of E1m and angle phi 1 from the history of 0 of complex wave. So similarly Enm will be what? Enm sine omega t plus phi n will represent a nth harmonic of maximum value Enm and having a phase angle phi n with respect to complex wave. So out of even and odd harmonics, complex wave containing fundamental component and even harmonics only are always unsymmetrical about x-axis, whereas complex wave containing fundamental component and odd harmonics always only will contain is always symmetrical. Okay, so whenever a complex wave is containing fundamental component and odd harmonics, then it is symmetrical about x-axis, and if it contains uh, fundamental component and even harmonics, then it is unsymmetrical about x-axis. So in case of alternators, voltage generated is mostly symmetrical. So generated voltage or current will not have any even harmonic in most of the cases. The complex waveform of voltage we can analyze by experimentally by using the phenomenon of resonance. So we know one of the condition for resonance is inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance. Okay, that is 2 pi FL is equal to 1 by 2 pi FC. If voltage waveform containing harmonic content is applied to the circuit containing resistance, inductance and capacitance, then the circuit will resonate at one of the harmonic frequency. So if the voltage waveform having harmonic content, we are applying to a circuit which is consisting of RLC components, then the circuit will resonate at one of the harmonic frequency. Okay, the voltage drop across the resistance can be analyzed by using an oscillograph. The values of inductances and capacitances can be changed. So resonance can be obtained at fundamental, third harmonic, fifth harmonic, etc. Okay, so we can obtain the value of resonance at fundamental, third harmonic or fifth harmonic, etc. Voltage on oscillograph indicates the presence of particular harmonics. Now let us see the slot harmonics. Voltage generated in armature winding is derived assuming that surface of the armature is smooth. But in practice, when we see actual armature, it is not smooth but it is slotted. Okay. So due to this slotting, certain harmonic EMFs of undesirable order are produced. So reluctance at any point in the air gap will depend on whether there is a slot or teeth in the magnetic path. So already in the construction of alternator, we have seen that armature is a slotted one. Okay. So inside the slots, conductors will be placed. Okay, it is a slotted one. So because of this slotting, certain harmonic EMFs will be produced. So which will produce and which are undesirable. Okay, and the reluctance at any point in the air gap will depend on whether there is a teeth or slot in the magnetic path. So this is a field here. This is armature slots, and this is a field waveform due to ripples. Okay, field waveform due to ripples. So in case of alternators, armature will be moving and teeth and slots alternatively occupy positions at this point. So this will vary the reluctance. What is the meaning of reluctance? So in case of electrical circuits or what we can see, voltage is equal to V is equal to IR, or EMF is equal to I into R. So in case of magnetic circuit, MMF will be equal to flux into reluctance. So reluctance is analogous to resistance. Okay. So this will vary the reluctance. The ripples will be formed due to the variation of reluctance from point to field point in the air gap, which will be shown here. Okay. So this ripple will not move with respect to armature conductors. They will glide on the distribution of flux. Okay, these are the ripples. Here we can see in the diagram. So these ripples which are existing because of slotting of armature are always due to a ripple opposite to slots and teeth which are causing them. So thus harmonics which are generated in EMF due to slotting is called slot harmonics. Okay, what are slot harmonics? Harmonics which are generated in the EMF due to slotting. Okay, we are slotting the armature. So because of that slotting, harmonics are produced. Those are called as slot harmonics. So it can be seen that main source of harmonics is non-sinusoidal field form which can be made sinusoidal, and harmonics can be eliminated. So what we have to do here to eliminate the harmonics, we have to make this non-sinusoidal waveform into sinusoidal one, and hence harmonics can be eliminated. The air gap will offer maximum reluctance to the flux path. This air gap, if made to vary sinusoidally around the machine, the field form will also be sinusoidal. So what we are telling here is that maximum reluctance to the flux path uh, is given by the air gap. So if this air gap is we are making it to vary sinusoidally, then ultimately field form is also sinusoidal. Even the air gap is made to vary sinusoidally, field form cannot be sinusoidal due to saturation. Okay, to some extent we can make it, but due to the saturation in iron parts, which is unavoidable, so air gap in the field cannot be made sinusoidal. Okay, but there should be high degree of saturation so that approximately sinusoidal waveform will be obtained. So it can be seen that ideal sinusoidal field waveform is very difficult to obtain whether the machine is salient pole or cylindrical rotor type. Okay. So now let us see the how to minimize the harmonics from induced voltages. So to eliminate or minimize the harmonics from the voltage waveform, windings must be properly designed. So the different ways to eliminate the harmonics from generated voltage are distribution of armature windings, cording, fractional slot windings, queuing, and large length of air gap. Okay, first let us see the distribution of armature windings. So instead of concentrated type of winding, they should be distributed in different slots. Okay, the winding should be of distributed type, not of concentrated type. The distribution factor for harmonics is comparatively less than that of fundamental, so magnitude of harmonic EMF will be small. Next, let us see second type, cording. So EMF generated in the winding is proportional to cos x by 2. So A is the angle of cording and x is the order of harmonic. If proper value of angle of cording is selected, then harmonic EMFs can be reduced. Okay. Fractional slot windings. Output voltage waveform will be free of harmonics by use of fractional slot winding because its distribution factor will be smaller compared to that of fundamental wave. So we have to make use of fractional slot windings to make the output voltage waveform free of harmonics. Next is skewing. Skewing the pole phase will help in eliminating the slot harmonics. Okay, already we have discussed in the construction what is skewing. Okay. Next is large length of air gap. The reluctance will be increased by increasing the air gap and slot harmonics can be reduced. Okay. So we just now we have seen that point. Okay, reluctance should be increased by increasing the air gap and slot harmonics can be reduced. Now let us see. I hope everyone is clear with the topic of harmonics. Okay, and how to eliminate the harmonics and tooth ripples in alternator. Now let us see the armature reaction in alternator. So every rotating electrical machine will work on Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So there are two important things a machine will require: a magnetic field and a coil. Okay, what is this coil here? In case of machines, it is called as armature. And one more thing is we require a relative motion between the magnetic field and the coil. Okay, so there are three important terms. So first one is the presence of magnetic field, second one is the coil, and third one is the relative motion between the magnetic field and the coil. So in case of alternator, we are supplying electricity to the pole to produce magnetic field, and output power will be taken from the armature. What is an alternator? Alternator is an AC generator. It converts mechanical energy to electrical energy. So, so mechanical energy can be given through some prime mover. Okay, and inside the alternator, we can see that we are not placing permanent magnet. We are placing electromagnets, and to make them as magnet, we have to give some external supply. We have to give electricity, and then it will produce. It will give us the effect of magnetic field. Okay. So we are giving some supply to the alternator to make it to act as a magnet, and it is generating. It converts mechanical to electrical energy, and we are getting AC output from the armature of the alternator. Now, due to relative motion between the field and the armature, conductor of armature will cut the flux of magnetic field, and there will be changing of flux linkage with these armature conductors. Okay. So we have seen the production of RMF. Already we have seen in the previous classes. So rotating magnetic field will be produced in the stator, and this rotating magnetic field will sweep over the rotor conductors and produces a EMF. And as rotor is closed, current will be flowing inside the rotor conductors and flux will be produced by these rotor conductors. Current carrying conductors will produce their own flux. So these two fluxes, RMF and the rotor conductor flux will interact with each other and force, or hence the torque is produced, and hence the induction motor will start rotating. Okay. Now according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, there will be an induced EMF in the armature. As soon as the load will be connected to the armature terminals, there will be current flowing in the armature coil. Okay. For the current to flow in the armature coil, it has to be closed. Okay. Through the load, we are closing this armature side. Okay, armature terminals are getting closed here with the help of a load. Okay, so as soon as the current will flow in the armature conductor, there will be a reverse effect of this current on the main field flux of the alternator. So this reverse effect is called as armature reaction. Okay, what is this reverse effect is called as armature reaction in alternator or synchronous generator. So alternator is also called as AC generator or synchronous generator. So the reverse effect of the current on the main field flux of alternator is called as armature reaction. Or we can say that effect of armature flux on the flux produced by the rotor field poles is called as armature reaction. Effect of armature flux on the flux produced by rotor poles is called as armature reaction. Now let us see what is the effect of this armature reaction. So current carrying conductor produces its own magnetic field, and this magnetic field affect the main magnetic field. So what are the effects? First one is that it distorts the main field, or it reduces the main field flux. First one is distortion, second one is reduction. Okay, distorting the main field, and second one is reducing the main field. So what will happen because of these two effects? They will deteriorate the performance of the machine. So when the field gets distorted, it is known as cross magnetizing effect, and when the field gets flux, when the field flux gets reduced, then it is called as demagnetizing effect. Okay. We are going to study about what cross magnetizing effect and demagnetizing effect. What is cross magnetizing effect? Whenever the field gets distorted because of armature reaction, it is called as cross magnetizing effect. And when the field gets reduced because of armature reaction, then it is called as demagnetizing effect. So electromechanical energy conversion will take place through magnetic field as a medium. Due to relative motion between the armature conductors and the main field, EMF will be induced in the armature winding, whose magnitude depends upon the relative speed as well as the magnetic flux. So, how EMF will be produced in the armature winding? By the relative motion between the armature conductors and the main field. Due to armature reaction, flux will be reduced or distorted, and the net EMF is also affected, and hence the performance of the machine will degrade. In alternator, like all other synchronous machines, the effect of armature reaction will depend on power factor. What is power factor? The phase relationship between terminal voltage and armature current. That is cosine of angle between voltage and current, also we can say it. Okay. So in alternator, effect of armature reaction will depend on power factor, whether it is unity power factor, lagging power factor, or leading power factor. So accordingly, we are going to see the effect of armature reaction. Reactive power is the magnetic field energy. So if the generator supplies a lagging load, this implies that it is supplying magnetic energy to the load. So there are two types of powers, active and reactive power. Okay. So reactive power is the magnetic field energy. If the generator supplies a lagging load, this means that it is supplying magnetic energy to the load. Since this power comes from excitation of synchronous machine, net reactive power will reduce in the generator. So armature reaction is demagnetizing. And if the similarly armature reaction has magnetizing effect when the generator supplied is a leading load, that is volt ampere reactive, and in turn gives lagging VAR to the generator. In case of purely resistive load, armature reaction is cross magnetizing only. Okay. So armature reaction is magnetizing, cross magnetizing, and demagnetizing. Three effects are there: magnetizing, demagnetizing, and cross magnetizing. Armature reaction of alternator depends on phase angle between them, stator armature current and induced voltage. Okay, it depends, the armature reaction will depend upon the phase angle between the armature current and stator armature current and induced voltage across the armature winding of alternator. So the phase difference between these two quantities, that is armature current and voltage, may vary from minus 90 degrees to plus 90 degrees. That is, theta is lying between the range plus 90 and minus 90. Let us consider three standard cases, that is theta equal to 0 and theta equal to 90 degrees and theta equal to minus 90 degrees. So this is the armature reaction of alternator at unity power factor. So there we can see in this diagram, there are two fluxes. Okay, this is main flux, first line, then second line is resultant flux, dotted line is armature flux. Okay. So distribution of stator current and fluxes of alternator with zero phase displacement between current and voltage, assuming the rotation of poles to be clockwise, we are showing in the figure. So crosses and dots which are appearing in the conductor will indicate the instantaneous direction of EMF induced and current flowing. Cross indicating the inward direction and dot indicating the outward direction. Okay, here in this diagram we are seeing here dots and crosses. Okay, cross is indicating the inward direction and dot is indicating the outward direction. Maximum of fundamental wave of field will be opposite to the pole centers, and at the same points conductor will have the maximum induced EMF. With phi equal to 0, conductors carrying the maximum current will also be at the same points. So armature reaction MMF will be directed perpendicular to the main field flux. So this will cause the distortion. The unity power factor angle between the voltage and current is 0. So armature current and induced EMF are in the same phase. So in the unity power factor, we are taking into consideration resistance. So for a resistor, voltage and current are in phase. We know this, okay? But EMF induced in armature is due to changing main field flux linked with the armature conductor. So field is excited by DC. So main field flux is constant in respect to field magnets, but it would be alternating in respect of armature because there is a relative motion between field and the armature. If main field flux of armature alternator in respect of armature, we are expressing as phi f is phi fm sin omega t. So induced EMF will be proportional to d phi f by dt, that is minus omega phi fm cos omega t. We are taking the differentiation of equation 1. Okay, d by dt of phi f, that is phi f is phi fm sin omega t. Phi fm is constant here, derivative of sin omega t. We are taking a minus omega cos omega t. So from this equation 1 and 2, what we can say that angle between phi f and EMF induced will be 90 degrees. Phi a is proportional to I. So armature flux phi a is in phase with I. Okay, by what we are doing here, we are seeing the relationship between the flux and current. Both are in phase with each other. So at a unity, electrical power factor I and E are in same phase. So at unity power factor, phi a is in phase with E also. So voltage and current are in phase, flux is in phase with I. So we can say this flux is in phase with E now. Okay. So at this condition, armature flux is in phase with EMF induced and flux is in quadrature with E. So phi A is in quadrature with phi F. So fluxes are perpendicular to each other. Armature reaction of alternator at unity power factor will be distorting or cross magnetizing type. So armature flux is pushing the main field flux perpendicularly. Distribution of main field flux under a pole face does not remain uniformly distributed. Flux density under the trailing pole tips will increase somewhat while under the leading pole tips will decrease. Now let us see the armature reaction of alternator at lagging. zero power factor. Okay, so here this waveform is showing main flux, then this is resultant flux. Second one dotted is armature flux. At lagging zero electrical power factor, armature current will lag the voltage by 90 degrees. So lagging means what? Current will lag the voltage. Leading means current will lead the voltage. Unity power factor, voltage and current are in phase. Okay. As EMF induced in armature coil due to main field flux, thus EMF will lead the main flux by 90 degrees. So phi f is phi fm sin omega t. We know this equation. So E is proportional to minus d phi f by dt according to Faraday's law. So E is proportional to what? Minus omega phi fm cos omega t. At omega t is 0, Et is maximum and phi f is 0. When we substitute omega t as 90 degrees, E will be 0 and phi f will be maximum. Similarly, 180, 270 we are seeing, okay? At 180 E is maximum, phi f is 0. 270 E is 0, phi f is negative maximum. So phi f got maximum value 90 degrees before E, hence phi f leads E by 90 degrees. Okay, what we are seeing here? Okay, whether phi f is leading or lagging E. So we are seeing here that phi f is leading the voltage by 90 degrees. So current is proportional to flux and I lags E by 90 degrees. So phi also lags E by 90 degrees here. Phi A here. Okay, phi A is lagging E by 90 degrees. So it can be concluded that phi F will lead E by 90 degrees. So armature flux and field flux act directly opposite to each other. So armature reaction of alternator at zero power factor, zero lagging power factor is purely demagnetizing type. That means armature flux is directly weakening the main field flux. Okay, next we will see the armature reaction of alternator at leading power factor. Okay, so here main flux, the armature flux, resultant flux. Okay, so leading power factor condition current, armature current I will lead EMF induced by 90 degrees. For phi F will lead induced EMF E by 90 degrees. Phi A is proportional to I and phi A is in phase with I. So phi A also lead E by 90 degrees. As I leads voltage by 90 degrees. Because it is a leading power factor, current will lead the voltage by 90 degrees. So as in this case, both armature flux and field flux lead EMF induced by 90 degrees, it can be said that field and armature flux are in same direction. So resultant flux is arithmetic sum of field flux and armature flux. So armature reaction of alternator due to purely leading electrical power factor is magnetizing type. Now let us see the nature of armature reaction, that is when it is cross magnetizing and when it is demagnetizing. So armature reaction flux is constant in magnitude and rotates at synchronous speed, and it is cross magnetizing when generator supplies a load at unity power factor, and when the generator supplies a load at leading power factor, armature reaction is partly demagnetizing and partly cross magnetizing. When the generator supplies a load at leading power factor, armature reaction is partly magnetizing and partly cross magnetizing. Armature flux will act independently of main field flux. Okay, one more point is that armature reaction of alternator due to purely leading electrical power factor is magnetizing type. That is, at leading power factor it is magnetizing, lagging power factor it is demagnetizing, and unity power factor it is cross magnetizing. Okay, unity power factor cross magnetizing, then lagging power factor demagnetizing, leading power factor magnetizing. Okay, these are the armature reaction effect on three different power factors. Okay, thank you everyone for watching the video. I hope everyone understood today's class.